Good evening, everyone. So this is a training by Blue Sky Citadel. So tonight we're going to look into introduction to SQL. So what you need to know about SQL. And this training is hosted by Blue Sky Citadel, so which is an initiative of RCCG City of God in Crayford, London. My name is Deji Ogunaja. So what exactly is SQL? SQL is a structured query language. So it allows you to access and manipulate database and also data, basically. And if you are going to be writing SQL statements, what can you do with them? So you can use it to execute queries against a database. You can retrieve your data. You can insert record. You can update record. You can delete. You can create new database or new tables. You can store procedure, you can create views, you can set permission. So within this particular training, so we're going to focus on this top bit, basically. So how do you do the queries? How do you retrieve data? How do you insert records? How do you update records? And how can you delete records? So within the time that we have, we might not be able to look into this basically, but this is just introduction. So we'll look into this bit of different operations that you can do with SQL. It's standard actually, yeah. This is basically this one thing that you can do. So you have a RDBMS, which stands for Relational Database Management System. So an example of such would be MS SQL Server, IBM, Oracle, MySQL, depending on which database system that you are using. So all these RDBMS, you will store database objects, which is called table inside them. So table basically is different collection of related data entries, so which consists of columns and rows. We're going to look into that right now. What exactly are tables? What are rows? So I would, like I've said before we started, so I'm going to be using this particular W3 School. They've got a very good database that we're going to be using to run different SQL statements actually, so that we can have some examples and we'll run them and we'll be able to see the results. The first example is we have a table. This particular table is called customer table, and then we want to be able to see what actually is in this particular table, which is called customer. So for us to be able to see them, we can run this particular query. This query is saying select everything in customer table. So let's try to run it right now. So in W3 School. But in normal sense, like I said before I go forward, because some people will be thinking that if you want to run SQL, you go to W3 School. No. So you would run your SQL statement on any of your database system, whether you are using SQL Server or you're using IBM DBS or you are using Oracle or anything. So you will have access to that environment, then you would then bring the IDE and you'll be able to run your SQL from there. So but now I'm going to be, I've only got this particular website which allows me to run my SQL. So if you assume that this is your RDBMS system basically, and you can just copy the SQL that you want to run, and then there will be avenue for you to run it. So, and you can click on run. So on this particular SQL statement that we just run, we can see the record. It's got 91 records, and you can see these are different rows basically that is returned. So as you can see, different rows that are returned, 91 records, which is different rows basically. And you can see it's got different columns: customer ID, customer name, contact name, and address basically. Each one of them represent the header and the column. So this is a description of this particular customer table. So that's an example of a table. And and also, if I must also say, so this column also, you'll be hearing me calling them field. They are actually fields that are in a table. So in a table, you have fields and you have the records stored in that particular field. So, and we're going to start now using writing some SQL statements basically. So the first statement that we're going to write is going to be a SQL select statement. So when do we use a SQL select statement? So when you want to select a data from a database, or you want to extract data, you want to get data from a database, so you use a SQL select statement. So how do you write that? Actually, you write your select as a keyword, and then you specify different columns that you want to extract. After that, you will separate those columns with comma, of course. Then you also write the from, and you put the name of that particular table that you want to extract from. So that's how to do it. So, and let's say we've got this customer table right now, and let's just quickly do a quick example. So right now I want to actually select customer name and city from customer table. So this is what I would just write: select customer name, comma, city from customer. As you can see from syntax, you have select the first column, the second column, and if you have more than one. So if you don't have, if you are only selecting one, so you do that. So that is what we would just write. Let's try that. So if you run the SQL, as you can see now, it's actually restricted to customer name and city. So that if I say only customer name, so it's going to bring only customer name for me basically. That's how to use a select statement. So you just use to extract data or get some data from your database. So, and also I've also used this if you want to select all, if you want to get all the columns, you just put star instead of highlighting, or instead of listing the columns that you want. If I don't care, I want to bring all the columns out, so I just replace that with a star. So that would bring all the columns for me. So that's a select star from customer. So as you can see, so all the columns are returned. So but if you are going to be looking for only address, so you just say select address, so from customer. So that's how to do that. So that is the first thing. So, and also if you look at some of the results that you will get might not be the same. So so some of them will be different, some of them might contain duplicates. So but in some cases you may not be interested in duplicates. So for instance, let's go and get star in there. So let's look at cities, right? Let's look at cities. Let's say I just want all the cities in this customer table. As let's see. So we have London and we have London here. So basically, as you can see, they are all duplicates. So, but in some cases, let's say I just need list of cities in this particular customer table, but it's returning 91 records for me. So, and I'm not, but that is not totally true because you don't have 91 cities stored, but most of them are duplicated. So for you to remove the duplicate, you will use distinct. You will use distinct to remove duplicate values. So, and this is the syntax. You will write select distinct and the columns that you want to attribute to your distinct. So, and then from that table. So let's do that quickly. After select country from here. So let's look at what we've just done right now. So, and I've just said select city from customers, and that brought all those for me. So I can say select distinct city from. So as you can see, this was 91 before. So let's run this code. So that is reduced to 69. So, and that will bring distinct one. So as you can see, there's no more duplicates in all this. So that is. So select distinct country. So I've used example of cities instead of the country in my own case. So what this example is actually doing is I will show you quickly. So, and you can actually get the count. So let's say count of that. So 1 minute. So, yeah. So instead of, yeah, that is showing 69, as the count will just return how many records that this particular query will have returned if you don't put the count. So the same way also, if I don't put distinct in there and I say count, how many records would that return? As you can see, 91. So, but if you put distinct inside, so that would return that will return 69. So that's what I am actually referring to. Okay, so we've talked about that. So okay, so now another thing also is, from what you've seen here, we've just brought all. If I remove the count and I remove the distance, so, and that returns all the cities in our database for us. Well, in some cases, you might only be interested in a few countries, basically. So, which maybe I'm only interested in London, I'm only interested in something. So, let's say I bring every record, right? But in all this record now, I'm only interested in customer living in London. So for me to be able to extract only the one living in London, I need to put a where clause. So this is where the SQL where clause comes in. So this allows you to filter records and extract those ones that actually meet a specified condition. So to write that statement, you would say select different columns the same way that we've been doing before in or anywhere at the top. We'll do the same thing, but the only difference that you want to add now is your where condition. So which will allow you to restrict or filter the records based on that condition. So for my own case now that I've said here, So let's say I am now going to say, if I don't put a where clause, I would have all the record returned. But now I'm only interested in customers living in London. So if that is the case, I will just say I'll put my where clause where city is equal to London. So when I run the test on the script, you can see it's now filtered based on that. So as you can see, so the same way you can also say country is equal to UK. So if you run that, so that brought actually, you can see it's only not London, and you can see. So which is how to filter your data. So that's an example. And you can, yeah, you can also, the first one I use a string, and as well you can also use a numerical field to filter your data. For instance, you can say I want, let's say, customer ID. Customer ID is equal to, for instance, I want to bring only this one, 11. So as you can see, or you can actually say less than 11. So as you can see, so that brings everything less than 11. The customer is less than 11. So that also is possible for you to do. And yeah, as I've used even the less than, so there are other operators that you can use in your where clause, not equal to, greater than, less than. You can give those ones a try, or between and like. So we're going to look into a few of them. So quickly, let me say, if I say my custom ID is between 12, 11 and 15. As you can see, so you only bring 11 and 15, so you can use that also. So if it's your customer ID is between that, or is greater than, or is less than, so, and the operators, these operators are there for you to use. So, and also you could use and not, or. So in this instance, you want to combine different conditions. So, and if all these conditions are true, then it returns the appropriate filter of records for you. Or you want to combine them with an or operator, which shows that if any of these conditions are, if any of the condition is true, so it would then return the records for you. Or you want to say not, that means if this condition is not true, it should now return. So let's quickly look into a few examples. So let's copy this one. So this one is saying I want to get customers living in Germany and their city is in Berlin. So it returns only one. So for instance, if you don't put Berlin in there, and you have lots of customer living in Germany. So by adding with it, you would actually have restricted it to. So that's how to use the and. So you can, let's say, we can use the or country is equal to UK. So as you can see, that brings both one in UK and in Germany. So because you see that that will return any customer either living in Germany or in the UK. So that is a sample for the or. So, and then also you could do the same thing for the not. So if you want, I want customer not living in Germany. So as you can see, that will return all cause X on Germany. So okay, and you can combine the and the no and everything. So on what you are looking for. So that also is possible for you to combine. So and then another one is now you could maybe you want to order your records. Let's say I want name. This is basically ordered in by customer name. Or maybe you would, or maybe even order by customer ID. Let's quickly check that. Say I'm bringing my customers, and now okay. So let's see. Drain. I think that is fine. It's been ordered by ID and customer name. So let's say I want to now order them by contact name. So, and I want to say okay. So you would put your syntax. So quickly, let me show you the syntax. So you would, yeah, you would, for instance, let's say you want to sort by ascending or descending. So you would write the same thing that we've been writing. Select your columns from the table, and now this is where you will now, even you can also put the where clause basically also with it. So, and after that, order by. So you want to order by different columns. So if you want to order by one column, so you just put the column, and if you want to order by more than one, you separate it with comma, and you put this next column. So we're going to look into that. Let's say this now I've got this, so I can say order by. If you have any question, you can just type it as we go along. I will be checking and I can answer your question. Order by customer contact name. So let's say that. So now as you can see, it's been ordered by contact name now. So by default is going to be ascending ordering. So like that. So even if I don't put ascending, but this is saying ascending order. So that is the same. So by default is ascending. So if you want it to be in descending order, you just change that, and you can see this Z becomes the first one. So that's how to do the ordering. So I've done that. So, and like I said, you can combine it with a where clause actually. So I can say where country is equal to UK. So as you can see, so it's bringing UK, and this is now ordered. So if I, yeah, so if I say that is ordered, so that is, so maybe I will do this. Okay, alright, cool. So yeah, you can order by several columns. Let's look into that. Let's say I order by, need this. Let's say I order by country, then city. So this was what this would do is you expect the country now to be ordered. Okay, for instance, let's just do this first. Order by country. So as you can see, Argentina is the first one that comes up. Then you see Australia and everything. So, but now this now. So you can see it's been ordered by Belgium, and this is in the order. So let's see. Okay, good example is Brazil. So for Brazil, you have different cities in Brazil, and you can see the cities are not ordered. So you might want to order the cities also to say that I want that city also in alphabetical order. So what you would just do is now, okay, I want to order the city. So let's say so restrict to I'm only interested in where country is equal to Brazil. So as you can see now, it brought all the Brazils, all the Brazilians rather, and their city is being ordered. And we see R, R, and S basically. So that is how to order them by different columns. So and that so now insert. In some cases, you might have new record that you want to bring into the table. So the how you're going to do that is by using the insert statement. So insert statement allows you to put some data into your table. So if you want to insert a new record, so use insert statement. So this is how you would do it. There are different ways actually. So let me just first look into the first way. The first way is to you will write your insert into as your keyword, the name of the table that you want to insert into, and you open and close bracket, open and close bracket. Then you put the columns that you want to insert data into, and then you go and you put value, and then the value of each of the columns that you want to enter. So basically, value 1 is the one for column 1. Value 2 is one for the column 2. So if you in that order, you would add the value basically. And also it's possible that you might want to insert into all the columns in that particular database. So if you want to insert the columns, you want to insert into all the columns in the database, you don't need to specify the columns basically, but if you do specify them, it's still fine. Let's say you have 7 columns in the database, so you will specify, if you use this method, you will specify all the columns, column 1 2 3 up to 7, and the value 1 2 3 up to 7. But since you are not leaving any columns out, you can just leave the column completely out because you want to insert into all the columns. You just write insert into the table name, then the value, then you specify the values that you want to insert. In this method, you have to specify all the values that you want to insert into all the columns, and they have to be in the order that the columns is in the table. So the same order that the columns is represented in the table, that's how you have to insert the value. So to do this, so for one instance, let's just use it. So now I want to insert these particular values. So like I said, now cardinal is the customer name, then contact name is this one, Tom, and the address is this, and the postcode is this, and the country is this. So this is using the first method that we did. So you specify the columns you want to insert into, and you specify the value that you want to insert into that particular column. So this is how to insert a new record into a table. So basically what you need to first know is they are the keywords that you need to memorize actually. So insert into the name of the of the table, and then the columns, and then their value that you want to insert into. So for instance, let's first do a quick query. Let's say select star from customer where customer name is equal to cardinal. So I'm just trying to first check to see that we don't have any customer with the name cardinal, just to show you. So as you can see, nothing is returned. So it returned nothing. So, and if I now do the insert, if I do the insert now, so it has affected one row. So if I now run the query again, so bring a customer with that customer name. So 1 minute, I think, where's that? Oh, sorry, that should be S. So let me, okay, let's check again. So that is that, but because I didn't check the right record, the right table before, I'm going to do that again just to be sure that we are in. I'll just put cardinal 1 in this one now. Cardinal 1, okay. So put cardinal 1 here. So before I do the insert, I'm going to think here I need to change this to, because as you can see, the table is customers, not customers. So I'm going to run the select first, just to be sure that there's no record at all before I do the insert. So no result basically. So now if I do the insert, that is affecting one record. So if I run it now, I got that. So that's how to do the insert. So if I go back, so that is the first method, so I don't need to do this, I think. So that is that. So yeah, also like I said, when you're inserting, also you might want to, okay, another thing, let's do this. So let's do this quickly. So I think this is a good example. So let's say now I've got my cardinal 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, in this particular insert, I'm only inserting into 3 columns. So, but however, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 columns in this particular database. So in this particular table, customers. So, and I'm only inserting only 3 fields. So the other fields will be null, basically. So the other field will be null. So there will not be anything stored in the other fields. So if I insert, if I do that, so that is, and I said, let me select star from customers where customer is equal to that. So as you can see, so it's got what I've entered, well, the rest are null basically. So that is stored null. Okay, there's one question. Sorry. Can't you run at all? Okay, I think, yeah, you can. Yeah, someone is asking that, can't you run all together? So I'm going to try that right now. So because, yeah, this is just step by step, so some people get confused. So 1 minute, don't worry, I will look into that. So, okay, all right, let's continue. So that is going from, yeah, so now we now have null. So null is basically that in that particular field, we don't have any value. So what someone is saying is, for instance, if this is a question that's coming right now to say they should be able to run together without having to run it one after the other. So that with this particular app, 1 minute, it's not able to do that. But I know if you use the RDBMS, you would be able to run both of them together. But in this instance, the answer is really no. So I think that's why I'm actually running one after the other. So like that. So I hope that answers the question. So there's a question that someone asked that, oh, why can't I run everything together instead of running it once? Yeah, I know it's possible, but in this particular tool, it doesn't allow you to do that. So, okay, all right. So as you've seen, mm, okay. So even in other tools or in other tools, maybe Oracle or MS SQL Server, you can just alight, and then that allows you to run that one that you alighted. But this is, like I said when I started, this is not RDBMS um, tool. Basically, it's just like uh, a tool that you can use to improvise. Is because it actually does. It's very good because they've got very good database, and I think I normally use it because it's easy for someone that's so new to understand how this works without having to learn how a tool works, basically. Okay. All right. So I've shown. Okay, 1 minute. Let me go back to that. So that's I just use that to answer a question. So as you can see, this one that I did just got null, so which is basically telling me that I didn't put anything, so there's no field at all. So that's what I'm trying to say. So in this instance now, so I can actually test if a data is null or not in this inside. So for me to be able to check, because in some cases you want to run your query and you want to see, do I have any contact name that hasn't got anything stored? Maybe in the process of doing your negative testing or maybe positive testing, you want to see, is there any contact name that's got nothing stored, or is there any customer with no address? So for you to be able to do that, you would write your statement with a null value in your where clause. So for you to do that, you can say select from then where that particular column is null. So if you want to do the other way, as you can say, is not null. So that's what you're going to do. So for instance, let's go and try that in here. So I can, instead of saying this, I can say where contact name is null. Then if I run down, that brings this for me. So so if I don't put anywhere clause to see which other thing I can use, so okay, there's no any other one after. So it's one just end that basically. So okay, so if there were, I will have put another where clause. So this is only one that we've done. So okay, let's continue. So that's how to actually use a where clause. So oh, with a null values. So you can use null operator or it's not null operator. So basically. So then the next one also, you might, let's say, in the process of updating or insert let's go back to where we are. Okay, let's say this one I inserted a wrong value and I want to correct it, or maybe this particular user was in Norway and now it's no longer in Norway, it's now in the UK. So you want to change that particular value so that is already in the database. So what you would do is to update the table. So how do you update the table? You will use this update statement. So you put update and update the name of the table that you want to update, and then you would also put the column that you want to update and the value for that column. So if it's one, that you just put that. If it's more than one, you specify those columns and their value. And because it's you're going to be updating one or more records, one or more records, so you will need a where clause. Otherwise, it's going to update everything, and you don't want that. But for instance, right now, I want to update only record with customer name equals to cardinal 123. So I would need to put my where clause in there. Otherwise, it's going to just update everything. So in most cases, you would put a where clause unless intentionally you want to get the update all of them basically. So we're going to look into the example. Example is this one. So, and for this example, I want to update the customer record, but I want to only update where customer ID is equal to 1. Basically, it's saying I just want to update this particular first record, and I want to change the customer name. Contact name is called Maria, so I want to change it to Alfred. Let me just say so, and then the city also. The city was Berlin. I want to change it to Frankfurt. Maybe this particular customer now is got his name changed and is moved to a different city in Germany. So you will want to change that data. So as you can see, this was there before. So when you run the query, it said one row is affected. So and if you will now select star from customer. So let's run that one. So as you can see, it's changed to Alfred and it's now in Frankfurt. So So that's how to do that. So, and okay, so and as well you can update multiple records. So it's the same way anyway. The only difference is if your condition affects multiple records, that is going to now make you to update more than one record. So it's just the conditions that you're going to. So basically, this is going to go and check for customers that are living in Mexico and change their contact name to Joan. So, and is that would affect lots of records anyway. Let's just run it first. So let's just first get them out where country is equal to Mexico. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of 5 records, but now we want to change all their contact name to Joan. So that, so if now go back, so as you can see, they've now been changed to Joan. So that's how to change updates. So you just use your statement or update statement. So, and it's only the updates that you need. Don't get confused. I'm only using select to get my results to be able to see if that is done. So the select statement that I'm using after the command is not part of it. It's just for me to cross check if my SQL statement actually performs something or not. So that's the purpose of running a select statement at the end. So yeah, this is very, very important. So you need to know that your where, if you omit the where clause, all your record will be updated. So I've already said that before. So for instance, if you do this and you omit a where clause, so for instance, let's first go. Let's say we do this first. So as you can see, only there are a lot of places that join is. But if you now don't put a where clause, so and you just say that, so everything you can see 94 record is updated. So if you go and check what happened, everything is now. So it's very, very important that you look your where clause before you change or you run an update statement is very, very important. Then delete. So let's assume we don't need a particular record or a particular table any longer and we want to remove it. So delete is the one that you need to use. So if you don't want a particular record, if you don't, not table right now, sorry, it's particularly to records. So let's say for instance, this particular customer is no longer a customer with the company again. So we need to remove his record. So you will use a delete statement. So to do that, like the syntax is basically delete from the name of the table where in your condition. As we've said about the update, is also very, very important not to forget your where clause. Otherwise, you're going to delete all your records basically. So it's very, very important to know this. So delete from where? I want to delete from customers, then my where clause where customer. So it's basically look at how to uniquely identify your record. You don't say, for instance, if you say where contact name is equal to Joan, when all of basically going to be deleted. So you say when country is equal to Germany, the law of customer in Germany, unless you are deleting every customer in Germany. So if you're not deleting every customer in Germany, so it shouldn't say Germany. You need to know how to uniquely identify your record. So for instance, I know is only one record with customer ID 1. So and this is Alfred. So if I want to delete Alfred in customer ID 1, I can just do that. So I can use customer ID equals to 1. Customer ID equals 1. So, and I can just delete that particular record. So that has affected one record. So if I now say select just to see what has been done, start from customers. So as you can see, so it's gone. So, but if you really want to be sure, I can put my where clause here. So there's no result. So that's how to use that. So I've looked into the delete. So bear in mind here, you need your where clause. So it's very, very important. So for you to delete all records, you just need to, you don't just put the, what's it called? You don't just put the delete, the where clause at the end. So for instance, if I want to delete all this record now, I can just say delete from customer. So so bear in mind, you should be sure you are doing this. So once you say run the script, 93 records are affected, and then if you say select star, there would not be any record, no result. All the records are gone basically. So, and since this is a test environment, so if you find yourself in this situation in this particular W3 script, you can restore. So, but don't do this at work if or anywhere if you don't know what you are doing basically. So, and I will just restore the database again. So then let me run it. So that is come back so to how it was before. Then another one is for you to select top clause actually. So if you want to select, specify the number of rows that you want to return, you can use that. So for instance, it's also possible that you are working with a large data set, and when you say start, select start from, you might be bringing like 1,000 or million. So but you don't want that, you can restrict it. So to restrict it, you can say I want the top number or percentage of the column. So, and it's totally different from different at the BMS. So if you are on MS Access, you can use this. If you're on MySQL, you just say select the names, different names, column names that you want, and you put your limit at the end, limit to number. I want only 10, I want 20. If you are using Oracle, you use row num is less than or equal to a number. So that's how to use it. So SQL Server, you say top, or MS Access, you say top number. So if you say top 10, it's going to return the first 10. So for MS SQL, you just put the number, you specify your column, but you now limit number of rows at the end. You put the limit. So if it's Oracle that you are using, you just use this. So let's try this basically and see. For instance, let's use this. So limits that would even allows us to see what. So this is only 3. So now let's try to see if we can, because like we can see, limit is my SQL, right? SQL syntax. So if you try, let's try to see if we use select top. So don't moments. So I'm not expecting this to work anyway. So yeah. So because it's as you can see, this is technically my SQL environment that they are actually running. So, and even if you try the Oracle, so let's start with them. Yeah, so that technically shows us that my double 3 school is using my SQL basically at the back end. So because only the limits actually worked, the top 10 and the row num did not actually work. So yeah, oh done. I'm not okay. Let's try that because I thought that wouldn't work. Okay, I did not even put that. Yeah, doesn't work anyway. Yeah, that really corroborates what we're actually looking for. So this is not a MS SQL. It's basically my SQL. So this will work basically because it's my SQL. So, but if you are using MS, if you're using Oracle, this is how to use it. If you are using MySQL, that's how to use. But if it's SQL Server, you do something like this. Okay, alright, cool. So the same way also you can add a where clause. That's also possible to actually, after you put your where clause, you limit it. So another one also, you can also use your SQL to get the minimum value and the maximum value actually. So to get the smallest of a selected column, so or the maximum of a selected column, so you can also do that. So basically you can say select minimum that particular column, and you can put your from that table and also add it with your where clause. So that's how to do that one. So let's use this. So let's go and say select star. So I'm going to just select this from no price. So sorry. So I will talk about this later. So I think I'll talk about this particular, the one I just deleted. So later from, because that's kind of alias. So well, we've not actually got there yet. So let me, the first thing, let's see what this particular table holds. So as you can see, so this is the prices that we have on the table. So, but what we are looking for is the minimum value of those prices. As you can see, if you're looking for the minimum, you would, that is 6. Okay, that's 4.5. So, okay, so, Okay, so we're looking for, so yeah, it's got 2.5 somewhere anyway. So let's look for it again. Yeah, 2.5. So that seems to be this smallest. So if the same way you can do the maximum, probably that would be 263. It seems. Yeah, you can, let's look into that one. So you can see max. Yeah, so that is the max. So I will look into, I will tell you about this alias later. So the same way I've looked into the count, we've talked about the count. So this just returns number of rows that meet the conditions. So then this returns the average of that particular column for you, and this returns the sum of the column. But you can only use them on, you can use these two also, you can only use them on numerical columns. Of course, as the name implies, you cannot get average of a column that's holding strings or text. So like you cannot get average of a country or something like that. So and you cannot add countries together. So but however, you can get the accounts. You can know how many country, how many UK is in the table, how many country with Spain is in the table. So you can do that. So to do the average, you would do the same thing. Select average, the column that you want to get average from table where conditions. So and the same thing with this one basically. So let's look into product table. We have another table called products now. So and let's say we want to sum up the prices together. So we just put the sum and then run. So those are the sum of all the prices. So and the same way you want to get average or all the prices. So that's it. And the same we can also get, you can count how many prices that we have. So we have 77. So that's how to do those things. So then the next one is a like operator. This is a very good tool that you might need to use. Basically, it allows you to be able to use the wildcard. So to be able to get your uh, record out, so you will use different parameter. So and it's very important to know that in MS Access you use asterisk instead of the ampersand, or another point you can, yeah, and the question mark instead of underscore. So but let's say we are using Oracle or MS SQL Server, so you will use this asterisk actually. You will use the percentage rather, and also underscore. So we're going to look into how and how we can actually use this. So let's go and do a quick example. So let's say we look into star. Let's look into customer. Select star from customers. So that returns all the customers for me. Okay, with S actually. Star from customers. So that returns all the customer for me. So now in some cases you might want to return customer with that the customer name is starting from A, or customers that are score the Anders as a contact name, or you would want to, depending on whatever you want to do. Let's say I want to return the one that's got Eastern in their customer name or something like that. So depending on what, or a customer name is got Elizabeth inside. So or you want to look at any customer living in number 12, no matter what it is, whether it's 120 or something. On what queries do you want? So you would need to use a like parameter, because you would want to restrict your search based on some string that you want to look into. So basically, so let's look into those. So for instance now, so for you to use that, you use a like keyword. But now I think we should be familiar with this particular query, select from where. But now we also want to restrict it more and say like, and we've defined a pattern. So we define a pattern. So for you to define that pattern, you would say like, and you put them in quotes. So, and then, okay, let's quickly do a quick example, because that might be easy. So let's see, Maria. Just look at on the, okay, let's for contact name like Maria, and that's it. Oh, okay. So as you can see now, so contact name like Maria, that returns only Maria for me. So, but now if I want all all customer that's got Maria as a first, let's say first name, I can just put the ampersand there. So that should return all customer with Maria at the beginning, as you can see. So it's about 2 for me. So this is saying that, so everything that you return should have Maria at the beginning, basically. So let's say I also am interested in anyone that's got MAR at the beginning of that letter of their name on the contact name, basically. So you're going to get that. So you can see Martin, Maria, Mario, everything, and even Mary is even here. So that is that. So, but in some cases also, you want to say, I don't care. Maybe the name also is also appearing at the second name or the first name, as long as it's got MAR in any part. So you would also, in this instance, put the ampersand. So basically, this is actually telling you that I don't care what starts and I don't care what it ends, as long as it's got MAR in the contact name. Just bring them for me. So as you can see, so this actually is bringing the underscore MAR in there. So so that's what is being added now. So as you can see, so from there, so that's how to do the like. So you can, yeah, be creative with it. So and you want to get any value ending with A, so and you can do the same thing to say like, I don't care what that thing is start with. I'm only interested in any contact that's got ER ending with ER. Ending with ER. So basically this is kind of a work card to say, oh, I don't care what it starts with, as long as it's got ER at the end, I'm okay. So that should bring everyone that's got ER at the end for you. So, and if you have look at the one starting, this is the one ending, and another one is the one that you want to specify the number of characters. So like for instance, in this instance now, you want to say find any value that starts with A and 3 characters in length. So for that one, you would put your your percentage in there. So let's quickly see that. So as you can see, it's got 3 characters. At least it's got 3 characters. So and if you and it's starting with A, anyone that's got at least 3 characters, what you're actually saying is that this one, it starts with A, you got this, and it must have 1, 2, and 3. So, but if you are only looking for 1 or 2 letters, actually start with A and it's got at least 2, so you can do something like that. Well, let's say we now say, okay, I want it to be maybe not 3, it's going to be 4, 5. Okay, so as you can see, so yeah, so at least it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters actually. So and let's even try this another one. So I'm expecting to restrict some of them. So as you can see, the other one with lower numbers lower characters has gone. So because this is expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus it's making 13. So the other one that we did is the AND one is gone because it's got lesser characters. So yeah. So it can be, yeah, you can look into this and see different way to actually use your like. So if you want to get anything that start with A, end with A, so you want to have all in between them. So you want to have, it's got R. So depending on, yeah, what you have, you can have different. So that is those things. So you can, yeah, you can be creative with those. So I think we just skip those ones. So and okay, now another interesting one is the in operator. So you might want to select your queries to allow for multiple values in your where clause. So to say that where, for instance, I want to select only records that has got okay, I want to select customer ID. Okay, better still, I want to return customers that has got 31, 41, 51 in their customer ID. So basically, I'm looking to return only these particular customers, this one and this one. So for you to do that, you can use the in operator. So what you would do is, let's say, customer ID in. So let's start with small one. So, and I just put 3. Yeah. So that only returns 3. But if I want more than 3, you can put them. I want 13. I want 14. I want, let's say, 17 also. So that returns that. So you can also use this to restrict your records. So to say, I want only this particular record that is in this range or in this particular specified conditions that I have identified. And what you are actually saying in this instance is select customer where customer ID is equal to 3 or is equal to 13 or is equal to 9, 14 or is equal to 9, 17. So it's basically writing a neater or concatenation. So you're actually using or in this instance, but it is basically kind of neater. And I'm saying where customer ID is equal to 3 or customer ID is equal to 13 or customer ID is equal to 14 or customer ID is equal to 17. So this is a neater way to actually write that. So that is the in. So as you can see, also you can say where country in France, country. So the same way, if you want to say country is equal to Germany or country is equal to France or country is equal to UK. So instead of using that or, and you can put them in using the in keyword. So, and you can also use the not basically just to negate that. So basically, I'm looking for a customer that are not in Germany or in France or UK. They're not in the UK. So you will just use your not to negate your condition. So if you do this, so these are 63, 62 records. So, and if you remove the not, you have 29. So that's how to do those things. So I've talked about the between. So you can use the between within, because you need to use it for range. So of course, if that is the case, it has to be number, text, and dates basically. So you have to use them for number, text, and dates. So like you want to get prices between 10 and 20. You want to get not between, also you can use that. And the same way also you can use it with in. So as you can see, this is now putting an and in there. So if you are using it for text, this is how to use it basically. So what you're going to say, find me a product where the product name is between this and that. So that should return all products with this and with that. So the same way also you could negate it also to get different thing. So when you're using date also, you want to get dates, so you want to get orders from this date to this date, so you will use between. So between allows you to be able to get which date you want to select, so other dates between this and that. So let's quickly look into this one. So in terms of dates, so that's 22. So if I change the date to a different date, so let's say change that to 5. So that doesn't, yeah. So let's say, let me remove the where clause and look into the dates. Okay. So all of them are kind of 1990s, yes, 6 and 1997. So okay. So this is, so if I not increase that to 1997, say 196 is the one as if you pull that to 1996 to 22. So you can actually restrict that based on what you are looking for. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about this alias. So when you are writing your columns, you can have an alias basically. So when you display, so as you can see, when I say select star from others, my columns heading is displayed automatically as it is in the table. You can change this particular heading to something that actually suits you. For instance, you can say mm, let's go to, maybe a good example is the customer table. Okay, so let's say for instance the contact name, I don't want to call it contact name any longer. I want to call it a different name. I want to call it maybe full name, or customer's name, or the customer's name. I don't want it to be together. I want it to be separated, but in the table it's kind of together. So you can actually change it using the alias. So this is what you would do. You will specify the table name that you want, the column name rather, that you want to display, and you would now put as the alias that you want to do. And sometimes you don't also need to put as. So we're going to look into that quickly. So let's say, let's copy this on. So as you can see now, so if I don't put this, you're actually going to bring the customer ID as the header for me. So, but putting the alias, I don't, maybe I might not want the customer ID display like this, so I'll use an alias, and I'll say as my ID. So if that's what I want, I can put my ID. So, and you don't also necessarily need the as, to be honest. So you can think you can do that. So that, so the same way customer, I can say customer name. Sorry. I think this will need to be in quotes. Yeah. So as you can see, I just left this. I know it's not, but you can see that is so you can remove the as a keyword. It's not necessarily needed, but it's good because it makes meaning. So as you can see, it still do the same thing, but if you put the as there also, yeah. So it's basically my customer ID as my ID, then my customer name as my customer space name. Basically, that's what the alias is for. So, and joins. Okay, I think the time is kind of this is very important. You go for interviews, in most cases they will ask you about joins. So joins allows you to join two or more tables together based on some conditions that you specified actually. So let's look at an instance. So you might, in this example right now, where you have the customer ID, so you have an order table and you have the customer table. So and you want to actually get the, let's look at what, okay, you want to actually produce a table that has got orders for each of the customers. So for you to be able to, because one, for you to be able to get orders for each customer, so the orders are stored in different tables. So you have your orders are stored in table orders, and customers name and details are stored in customers details. So for you to be able to now get, okay, I want to be able to get the order and the customer that that particular order is attributed to. So you would need to go into the order table and then also go into the customer table. So basically, let's look at this in essence. And we'll be using the customer table for a long while. So the customer table only store the details of the customers. As you can see, customer ID, customer name, customer. So that's what we've been seeing before now. And you now have the order table, which is only store the order. So let's go in, let's just do a query and see what we have in the order table. Select star from order. So that's not star, obviously. So is the others? Okay, cool. So in the others table, you will see that we have the order ID and we have the customer ID. So the orders table does not actually store the customer name and detail. It only store the ID of that customer. So for instance now, if you want to say, oh, what customer actually ordered this particular, um, okay, what customer, let me say, okay, for instance, I want to know the customer that ordered on this particular date. It's going to say select order where, so let's say the date is this one, where order date is equal to, okay, so you can see only this customer is one that ordered on this particular date, but this is only the order on that date. But how do I know the customer that ordered on this date? This is the customer ID of the customer. So what you would do is, I want to get this customer so that I will know that this, even though I know the order now, but I don't know the customer because the details of the customer is not stored in this table. However, the customer ID is stored. So I can go into the customer table, customer, select star from customer, where customer ID is equal to 90. So let's say we run that query, this particular query. Okay, and I think with the S kept making that mistake. So okay, so Wilma Color, that is a customer that ordered that particular this on this date basically. Now this, what we just done is we now have two tables and we have two records, but you would not normally do this. You want to now bring them together and be able to uh, put one record. You want to bring them like, okay, I want the order, I want the customer, and I want the data ordered in one spreadsheet basically, not in two spreadsheets like we've done. So like for instance, now this is only the customer details, and then we have another record for the other details, but you want to bring them together. How do you do that? You have to join these two tables together based on a common property. So, and what is the uh, field that's common within them? So the field that's common within them is the customer ID. So for instance now, so let's say we go into this now. We've seen this is called the customer ID. And if you look into the other, also it's got the customer ID. So you can see that customer ID is common in both uh, in both of the records. So you will join them together based on that. So that is what this particular join is about. So you would it will allow you to join rows from two or more tables and based on related columns between them. So in this instance, the related column that we have is the customer ID. So you want to say I want to join these two tables together, uh, like orders table and customers table, based on that orders table has got customer ID and the customers table has got customers ID. So but bring them when I've got the the record in the orders table equals the record in the orders table for the customer ID is equal to the same uh, value in the customer ID basically. So like we have right now, it's going to combine where my customer ID, we know that 90 is in the other table, and also 90 is in the uh, customer table. So it's going to combine them together and produce one record for us instead of two records that we currently have. So that's what we is going to do for us. So basically, let's run this one and see what we have. So let's remove the one at the top. So as you can see now, you can see they now been combined together. But also we also restricted the columns that we are looking for. So if you do something like this, I want to bring all, so you can see that brings all the tables. So you can see this is kind of every table, every no, it's basically you are bringing the concatenation of those tables based on this condition. So, but you are returning all the fields basically. You can restrict the fields based on what we've done before. So say I only want the other table, I only want the other dates based on what you want. But as you can see now, the 90 is coming up, and is coming up with that order of that particular day. So you can see this is kind of two tables together, and you're not duplicating them. Basically, go check that 90 is not appear on any place. So because it's been merged together. So that is how to do this. So this is using inner join. We're going to talk about join. So a way to do this, you can also use these methods for those people that have seen this. So this is another way to write the inner join. So select star from other customer, then you put your where. So this is basically a traditional way of doing it, where other is equal to this. So and it's going to return the same thing. So this is basically an inner join. So whether you write it like this or you write it with an inner join like this from, so inner join is basically, this is going to return the records for you where customer ID on based on your condition, right? When both of them are equal. So customer ID is got 90, then on the others also it's going to go 90, it's going to have 90. So and the same way for this also, so if you check the others table you will see 81, and if you check the customer table you will see 81. So it's going to return, so for the inner join it's going to return tables, it's going to return rows, rather rows where these two tables has got the same value. So where you have the same value based on the columns that you are using, so that's that's what it's going to return for you. If they don't have the same value, it's not going to return anything for you. So but if they have the same value, and if 90, for instance 34 is in the other table and 34 is also in the customer tables for customer ID, then it's going to return one row for you. But if they don't, if you only have 34 in one and you don't have 34 in the other, it's not going to return it for you. So this is for inner. So and then the next one is we have the outer join also. So this is a very good way to align them together. So as you can see, the inner join, so basically it's kind of like interceptions of the two tables. So where the two tables actually meet based on the conditions is going to return that for you. So the outer join, so that one returns all everything in the first table. So even if the second table has not got anything inside, it's still going to return all the tables for you. So the right join is the opposite of that. So basically, even if the first table has got some null or it hasn't got anything, so it's still going to return something for you in the table two. So then left full is like a Cartesian concatenation of both tables. So and let's look at example. I've done example of the inner one, so let's look at example for the outer one, the left join. Also the left join, like I said, I think I'll explain the inner one basically. So that selects all rows from both tables as long as there's a match between the columns basically. So the left one, so that will return all records from the left table, so and the match record from the right table. So as a result, if the result is null from the right, so if there's no match, so basically what we are talking about, I'm going to use an example. This is left join, right? So let's look at this example. So in this example, as you can see, if you look into, let's look into this example. So in this example, we are, so let's just say star. I want to see all the records, all the fields. Okay, in this example, you can see I'm looking for to join customer. So, and that's what from what we've seen here at the top. Okay, thank them. Okay, yeah. So let's look into the left. So table one is that particular table at the left hand side. Okay, so let's say from this table, table one, and this is going to be table two. So, and that table is the one at the left hand side, and this is the one at the right hand side. So basically, if you say you left join it, basically you are not careful about the table at the second table, which is the right table, but you want to return every object, every record that matches what you're looking for. It's called an ID. But even if that particular ID does not appear in the second table, in the other table, you don't care. So in this instance, you want to say, okay, please bring me all the customers that are, have ordered something, even though, no, bring me all the customers with their corresponding order. But I also want to see all the customer, even if they don't have any order, still bring them out for me. So that's what you are actually saying. I want to I want you to return all customers for me with their corresponding order. There might also be some customers that don't have any order, that have no orders. Yeah, still bring them for me. So basically, for the customers without any orders, their orders will be null. So that's what we are talking about now. So if you look at the other ID for those customers, it will be null. For instance, this particular guy now is called, so let's say, yes, okay. So let's say customer, the name of the customer, and also the ID, the other ID. So that's what we are particular about. So, and so if you are also looking into, let's say, let's look for, let's bring out the customer. Okay, as you can see now, so this particular, all these customer that we highlighted here right now has got, I'm returning all the customers, so all the customer would need to be returned. So, and with their corresponding order ID. So even if they have not actually ordered anything, they are still going to appear. So for instance, Alfred does not ordered anything, so I still have his record. So, but if they've ordered more than once, is the order, their ID are going to be returned basically. Like for instance, this guy here has ordered more than once, so he's ordered this and he's ordered that one. So and he's got all this one. So, but that what we're talking about. So you will look into the first, the left one, because we are talking about the left join. The left join, I want all customers with corresponding order. So that's how to do it basically. So even if the order is not, you're still going to return it. So in the second one, which is the right join, is the reverse basically. So you want to return all table twos with corresponding table one. So if you flip that in this order now, I want all orders with corresponding customers. So any order that I have, so there will be some, maybe there will also be some orders that they are not customers basically. But I want, get me all the orders that I have, and also let me know who actually ordered them. There maybe there might be some issues where someone has ordered something but the person is not a customer. So in his own customer table, nothing will be returned because that ID hasn't got any customer. So but it's still going to return it for you because you are going to be using a left right join. So the right join is going to be considering this basically. So if you do like that, so it's going to be returning, it's going to take this one first, bring the orders for me, and then look into the customer and see if there is any corresponding customer. If there's no corresponding customer, still return a null for me. But I want to see all the orders basically. So whether they have customer or they don't have customer, please return all the orders for me. So that's what the left join, the right join is going to say. So return all the customer from the right table and then with the matching record from the table 2. So that's a, so even the result is null from the left side when there's no match. So if there's no match, so it's going to return all the left table 2, but then with the right side that is null, it's going to put a null in there. So that's how to do the right join. So the right join, so basically the same thing. So I want others, so I want all employees with the matching order. So let's look into that one. So this is a good example. So this is is an interview question. So I'm actually taking a lot of time to explain it. So um so what's the problem? Could not prepare statements. Oh, okay. It said right or full outer join are not currently supported. Okay, alright, so no problem. So that's fine. So for this two, it was not able to support it, but that's fine. But if it's able to support it, so this is basically what you are looking for. I can just explain it. So what you are saying is like, okay, please bring all employees for me with their corresponding order. So basically, so if there are any employee with no order, it's still going to return all the employees and then their orders is going to be there basically. The same thing that we've done before is this. So if you reverse it in this way, so if you do this, no, sorry. Okay. So if you do this now, we get this. So if you reverse it now, and I bring this, and I take this back to this side. So yeah, this will return the same thing, but because now this becomes my right join. So this is now saying bring all the customers for me with their corresponding order. The same way we've done with the left join. Bring all the left join with the customers was there and the other was there. But now we swap the tables around. So we now say right join. Bring all the customers for me with their corresponding order. So that's the difference that we have. So, and the full outside join is basically kind of like Cartesian table. So you would just bring this return with very large data, data set basically. So what you are going to say is like return all the record, and when there's a matching left or right, just bring them together and bring them. So it doesn't matter which one. So if the left has got a null value, return it. If the right has got null value, return them basically. So that's what we're going to have. So it doesn't matter. So left or right, any null values, just return them basically. So that is that. So I'm not going to cover this self join. So I don't think it's so. Also, yeah, you can use union. Union is like kind of uh, yeah. So it's not commonly used anyway. So let's just look at examples of a union. So all the time is fast spent. Okay, so just to look into that one. So in union, basically, if you look into that, so yeah, so it's basically okay, no, this one. So you combine the record sets of two or more select statements actually. So and so each select statement within a union. So basically, like when you have a union set in mathematics, so you want to see which one has got similar data sets and you want to bring them together and return a data set from them actually. So the column in each select set must be in the same order. So it's not so, and in most cases in this instance you will have duplicates also. Let's see, so to remove the duplicates you will use union or I don't. So you to allow duplicate rather you put union all. So if you put union all, it's basically like when we have in mathematics actually when you do a union of sets. So as you can see, this is bringing 93. So it's basically like so the cities select we are bringing cities from so let's use them one after the other, so that would be easier. So 91, so we are bringing all these cities, right? Then we are then using the union. So this is so basically what you are actually saying is in the first two. So when you have cities that you have in this customer table and the cities that you have in the supplier table, you just merge them together and you bring one cities. So this is basically like kind of get union. So once you have anyone that you have in the city, in the customer, you bring them out and you merge them into the supplier table. So, and if you want to return everything with all the unions, so without any, with all the duplicates, you put union all, that will return all the duplicates for you. So if you look into the data, you can see Berlin is appearing twice because they are Berlin in cities for suppliers and also in customers in suppliers and also in customers. So so that for union and also union all, you can also use your where clause with that, so that also is possible. Group by, this is another thing I really want to talk about. So then okay, actually not doing well in terms of time, so but let's look at the group by. So in terms of the group by, so you might have in some cases when you want to use maximum, minimum, or some other these functions. So and they allow you to group to or aggregate that particular data set, by column basically. So and let's use an example to do that. So for instance, this one. So let's use an example to explain that. So now if I say this, so as you can see now I've got 91 records. So if I do that, so and by saying group by, so now I'm going to say, oh, for this particular customer ID and country, right, please, I want to actually see each of this particular country with their customer ID. So how many counts? So you're going to be counting them by their country. So if I don't actually group them, it's going to just count them by numbers. How many group ID do I have? 91. So it doesn't actually consider the country. So it's going to consider how many all these customer ID that I have 91. But if you now group them, basically that is saying that, okay, please group these particular customers into their country. So that then you will see how many customers ID do we have per country. For Argentina we have 3, for Belgium we have 2, so it's going to look and count them based on that. The same way for average also, you can also group to say, oh, I want, let's look another a good example. Okay, I'll talk about the unions. Okay, but yeah, to group by, so, all right, so there's no, the same way also for even the sum also. I think we have one before. There's a table. I think it's called price, isn't it? Start from order. Okay, let's say now we are looking for customer employees actually. So to see how many employees, how many orders do they make. So we can say I'm looking for count employee. So then order by employee. So let's say account their order, basically not group. Sorry, I actually wanted group by. So I want to group by order ID. Okay, this will be from orders. Oh, okay. All right. So cool. So as you can see now, so if you look at the count, so this particular order now, this particular employee ID so they've got different orders. It's got 29 orders. Employee 1, it's got 29 orders. Employee 2, so, and you can actually get their average also and say, so I want to get the sum. based on the, so if you sum all the ID together, which is not the right way to, as in, of course, the, if it were, yeah, so basically this is just summing all the appropriate order ID together, and for each of the customer ID, as you can see. So the same way also you can do the average also. So if I'm going to get the average of the order ID based on each customer, basically. So that's how to do it. So and going forward also, you would, you can also have a where clause in a group by, but you don't put a where, you just put having. So having employee ID. So if I want to say having employee ID greater than 3, so as you can see, that is restricted. So you want, your where clause should be at the top, but if you want to restrict the group by, you will use an having in that regard. So that's what I think I actually added here, having clause. So having clause, yeah, so having clause was added to SQL because where clause could not be used with aggregate function. So for you to use a, to actually restrict your aggregate function or a group by, you will put a where clause. You put an having clause in there. So this is a full SQL, right? If you want to have an having clause, you will use the select from, and you put your where to actually restrict your SQL, and then you have your group by, and then you have your having. Then before you now put your ordered by into that. So that's how that is. So I would, this is where I think I would stop SQL assist. So any that also, yeah, you can look into this one, insert into, okay, questions, yeah. So like I'm not going to be using create and everything. So yeah, so that is that for now. So you can, if you have any questions, so let's just ask away. Let's start from, yeah. Can deleted record be retrieved? Uh, mm, yes. So in most cases, you can roll back. So I won't advise you to do that. To be honest, you can roll back. You can, yeah, if it's on transaction. So, but that is a bit advanced. So yeah. So and don't try that. So yeah, if you're using transaction, you can roll back. But if you're not using transaction, so if you delete a record, then it's already gone. So are this method used? So as you can see, in terms of case sensitive, I've intentionally, right, use different cases. So the keywords are not case sensitive actually. So you can do something like that. That was to be select. So and the group, you can, yeah, the keyword are not case sensitive. There is the group. So and I think the columns also, you can put employee ID in there. But however, the, let's say I now write select star from customer. So of course, this is case sensitive. You need to write it as it is. Like if you now say where uh, contact name is equal to, so if you want to search for this has to be case sensitive. You have to actually write it the same way as it's been written. So I would say that is case sensitive. So if I put M here, so as you can see, it doesn't actually recognize it. So I hope that answer your question. So in terms of keywords are not case sensitive. Must be just right. Okay. Yeah, this training slide will be sent to you. So we just finished the SQL. It's only one day actually. So that's going to be it. Any other question? So it's going to be only today. So there will not be any. So if you are at work, you will have this particular. Let's say this is Microsoft SQL Server Management tool actually. So and this is how it looks like. You have your database. This is the database you are connecting to, and then you would everything that we've been doing on this particular tool, this SQL statement that we've been writing, you would put them in this particular section there, and then you click on execute. Then that will return the script or the result at the bottom part of the page here. So you put your script at the top and you click on execute, and then you would see the result here basically. So of course you would need to select the appropriate database that you are connecting to. If it's more than one, you will select it from here, or you will right click. You can as well just right click on here and then you select the SQL that you want to run. So but if you click here, you click on new query, this screen will open for you. When you click on new query, the screen will open for you. So you'll just be copying what you've been doing from even right now, like the statement that we've been putting in there. So you put them in this section, and then you click on execute. So as I have clicked on run query, and I see result here, you would click on query, you click on execute here, and you will see results. So this is kind of an example. So and you have this is different screenshots of how the tool look like. This is an example. You put your script here and you click on execute, you see the result at the bottom. So that's how you will see it. So yeah. Alright, any other question? Okay, Adam. So thank you, person meant. So the assignment for this week. So write a 1-page or 2-page document explaining how to execute queries, how to retrieve data, how to insert records, how to update records, and how to delete records. So basically a quick summary about how to perform these operations. So that will be the assignment for this week. Alright, thanks everyone. So enjoy your week and I'll see you next week.